Next, we have an author and an award-winning lecturer here at the International Center for Studies in Creativity. She is also a trainer and a facilitator in creativity, leadership development, diversity, retention, and empowerment. She holds a Master of Science and a Certificate of Advanced Study in Creativity and Change Leadership from SUNY Buffalo State College, and is a doctoral candidate in the Educational Leadership Policies program at the University of Buffalo. An interesting fact about her: she's not had a television in her room since 1998. Please welcome Tamara McMillan.
Life for me ain't been no crystal stair. You see, I've lived a life filled with trauma, pain, heartache. Growing up a skinny, awkward girl on the east side of Buffalo in the projects, I was unsure, I was insecure, and to put it plainly, I ain't trusting me. My mic is doing something different. I did not trust me with me. However, there were two very important things that happened. The first, I became a mother. I had this beautiful, brown, brave girl holding on to my pants, looking to me for answers. How were we going to navigate the landscape in which we were given? How were we going to play the cards that we were dealt? I didn't have the answers. I didn't have a process. I didn't have a way. However, I knew if for nothing else, I had to try for her. The second thing, in 2009, by the suggestion of my sister, she said, I think that you should take creative studies. And to myself, I said, what the hell is creative studies? So I'm listening because she's an educated individual. She's a beautiful person, and she's never steered me wrong. So I said, okay. So I entered into the Creative Studies program in 2009. And because of those things, I were able to manage 3 new aspects of me. The first one, temetnosis, translated, thyself thou must know, Socrates. What happened was the creative process allowed me to master me. I didn't have the answers. It allowed me to embrace who it is that I was supposed to be in my life. It was the language that I needed. I say this: we cannot master anything until we master thyself. And I began in that process of something that we call the 4 Ps. I said, hey, I'm a person, right? And my process was my unique journey. And it allowed me the space to take these dots that I had been collecting in my pocket and to begin connecting them. And I was afforded some sacred time. Time for me to be my best friend. Time for me to quiet the noise. Because when you're unsure and you're uncertain, you will do anything to keep you away from your reality. I had the pleasure of finding my inner goddess. Yes, you are watching a goddess at work. Right? How does that? Thank you. And why? So is it a coincidence that Simon Sinek in 2009 gave his most important TED Talk, begin with why? Mark Twain said this: the 2 most important days in your life is the day that you were born and the day you find out why. And my friends and family and colleagues, I found out why. I'm here to teach and I am here to speak. And I will do that until there is no more breath in me. Why? Because it is about a deeper meaning. It is about empowerment for other individuals. And it allowed me to do what? become vulnerable, be okay with my story, and begin telling my story to my students, to my friends, to my colleagues, and not in a way where I was bragging. I'm thinking this is a part of what? My process. It was a deeper meaning. And then what I realized was there were other individuals too that had been quiet. There were other individuals too that did not value themselves. And they began asking me questions. How did you do it? How did you manage being a divorcee and raising a daughter by yourself? How did you do it? How did you manage working full-time and having your own company? How did you do it? How did you go from stop being crazy or not being crazy? And that, the jury's still out on that one. I still might be, but we're working on that. We're working on it. How did you do it? And I just said, I wasn't certain because I was fearful to what? Chart my experiences, because the only thing I want to do, I want to run through it. I didn't want to embrace it, and who wants to definitely write it? However, it was what I needed, and it was what my scholars needed. My philosophy is simple. Out of adversity comes an equal or greater benefit. If you're not standing on the edge, you're taking up too much space. I was never standing on the edge. I was always in the back, standing behind something or someone. The vision, the metamorphosis. Guess what? I allowed creativity to what changed me. I allowed it to allow me to be. I allowed it to embrace something that was bigger than myself. I allowed myself to be used for the platform of other people, understanding that I had an individual mission that I had to complete, and that thing cannot be delegated or picked up by anybody else. I understood that it was bigger than me. So, I stand here before you unapologetic, all 5'10" of me, authentic from the east side of Buffalo, self-aware even as an individual who had comprehension problems in middle school and high school. And guess what? Now I get the opportunity to stand in an organic space, a classroom, and teach for 3 different departments and travel the world helping scholars stack the deck in their favor. And I'm a failure fanatic. So there is this cute story. It's so awesome. In the department, Roger's always saying about Mike Fox, his mistakes are plentiful and they're spectacular. So I'm on my way to being plentiful and spectacular, right? So again, if you're not failing, you're not succeeding. So, unlimited. As a practitioner, I don't worry about protecting my stuff. I don't worry about sharing my ideas. Why? Because I never run out. I'm an active practitioner. I am a creative. I'm an ideator and an implementer if you've not gotten it. I never run out. I stand in this space. So I don't have to worry about that. When we're talking about creativity, listen, friends, family, creativity is too important for us not to be sharing it. Creativity means so much for us, and we're talking about moving forward and in concert. Creativity is for everybody because we know everybody's creative. It just is different in the way in which it shows up in their lives. Just think how dynamic it would be if everybody had a seat at the table or knew they had a seat at the table. So for those of you that are not connected to the community, this is my invitation. Ask yourselves, in what ways might I learn more? And then for those of you that are active practitioners, for those of you that are in the space, especially if you're in the classroom, Ask yourself, how many individuals are you tapping on the shoulder? How many individuals are you calling to the table? How many individuals are you willing to stand in the gap for so they too can master themselves? They too can be vulnerable to share their stories, and they too can be free to do the thing that they've been created to. How awesome would it be for us to bring along the Fardinas in the world, the Jasmines of the world, the Daniels and the Kevins, the Monets, and definitely the Jontays, so they can go from a place of knowing to doing to being. Creativity is not this esoteric, elusive thing that is just for the special among us. It's for each and every one of us. Why? Because we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they're endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, and among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So ask yourself, what is life without liberation? Thank you.